Get your day started right with the Morning Connection. Weekday mornings, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on Fit FM 96.7. Connect with Julia Mikkel Benaya on the Morning Connection for news, business and artist promotions, great music and vibe. Morning Connection with Julia Mikkel Benaya, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Blessings and light. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary. Your host and the community buzz on the Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 p.m. on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Fit mind, fit body, fit community, fit world. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Struggle goes on. We are the builders of the pyramids. We are the builders of the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House. We build them factories. With blood, with sweat, with tears. With flesh, with bones. Them use build them economy. Now them want come con you and me with them science and them technology. We make them take with knowledge. Now them are deadly. Them are blindly. We are walk, we are ride, we are drive, we are fly. Nah look, nah see. Eyes focus on the screen of an iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, Blackberry. Wake up, look. Uno no sister them a bury with. Ancestors crying out. Them a weep, you see we heading back to slavery. Robotic, digital, technological slavery. The rich take them session, call it recession, left the world in depression. Legal and illegal drugs and alcohol on the rise. In their interests, to our demise we patronize, now become marginalized, make fools seem wise, because we abide them lies and sell with lies, prostituting our sons, daughters and wives. Marcus did rise, Sam Sharp did rise, Bogle did rise, Taki did rise, Queen and Zinga did rise, Harriet Tubman rise, Rosa Parks rise, Malcolm X rise, Frederick Douglass rise, Ancestors rise, Elaine Thomas, Organize for them eyes and through your own eyes. Give them back them gadgets. Free yourself from debt. The robotic digital technology If we are live on credit, while we learn our property, them take it, sell it. Guard your mind, guard your children mind. But we are a puppet government, them ready to sell it. It's up to me and yes. It's up to me and you to stop it. Yeah, so come and make we do it. Now we are here again. A brand new year, them say. 2023, the 9th of January. Aymara, the poetic musical revolutionary. We're there for free we mind and to express ourselves, you know, to deal with the things that are important to our lives within our communities, and to continue to create a family settings, because everything starts from the family. First of all, it starts from the individual mind, how you think, you know, and how you align yourself with the your inner verse, and by expression, you know, and extension, the universe that is around, you know, and knowing that you are a micro of that macro, right? Mean you are a micro of the macro universe. So we are here on the community buzz to free our mind, to speak our mind, and to express the truth that is within us, to move forward as a nation, as a people, to become stronger. There are so many things happen for the past 2022. Now we are moving into a different dimension. And I deliberately say that, you know, because we are still in the process of what we call hibernation, you know, until we turn around to the full astronomical vibration of spring, which is when the new season really starts, you know. So we are still hibernating right now. See? So we have a special guest this afternoon, Mr. Fernandez Smith. And we are going to talk about one of the main things that keep a nation going. We are going to talk about agriculture. And agriculture is the foundation, is the life of any nation. You know, we can't do nothing without eat. We have to eat. You know what I mean? So we are going to talk about that. We are going to look on land, and we are going to also talk about the Usain Bolt statue. So I am eagerly awaiting Mr. Fernandez Smith to hear what he has to say about these issues, you know what I mean, to see how much they are well organized as farmers, and to see the difficulties that they are facing, the challenges that they have to deal with when it comes to farming, and the distribution of lands, you know, how is that affecting farmers, and not just farmers, but the people in general, you know, because that is one of the natural law that every human being should, according to the natural law of the universe, you know, have access to land. And we recognize that it is not so here on this little island called Jamaica. We realize that there's a lot of landless people around, you know what I mean? And what they are called is squatters in time them find themselves on a piece of land to even live and put up a little shack, you know, to take care of themselves and them family, because no matter how you look at them, or maybe looking down on them like they are poor or this and that, it's human. And within those human lives, there are invaluable things that we cannot even fathom. So looking at another human possessing a piece of land to take care of his or her family, and you want to describe them as squatter, I can't see through that, especially, you know, if you have the complexion like those human beings who know where we are coming from, you know, and why we are here. So these are some issues that we want to talk about on the community buzz, and want the people to tune in to www.fitfmja.com. YouTube, Facebook, we're over there so right now. So when you can log in, them up and down sometime, but it look like them up, So if them up, just stay up with them, And if them up, you just go over to www.fitfmja.com and you can just say what you want to say over there, so, text in, and make your comment, right? And you can also call the WhatsApp line, 876-478-9144, 876-317-1991. Again, 876-478-9144, 876-317-1991. There is where you can make your comment, send in a WhatsApp, a voice note, or whatever. See, I want to be interactive with I and I. I don't want nobody, who call and say the program express what the program is supposed to express. When you have a voice to express what you want to express, right? The community buzz is not for IMAR and for Fit FM. The community buzz is a community station, you know what I mean? And an outlet where people, and for people come and express themselves, you know what I mean? So whatever is happening within your community, the community buzz is here as a medium that you can express yourself through this medium and free your mind, and get things done if you believe them now get done in the way that you want them to get done. See? So that's it. So you have a piece of music for me there, Julia. Make we find a piece of music and chill down a little. The great Eddie Fitzroy.
Work on, Mr. Farmer. Work until your day is over. Work on, Mr. Farmer. Work until the day is over. Remember that you have a great commitment. Remember they hot. Your children are depending on you. So work on, Mr. Farmer. I beg you plant up the land, y'all. Say plant up your vineyard, Mr. Farmer. Plant up your land, boy. You live in the country. You work so hard to make all Israelites feed up and look so strong. To make all Israelites sit in a earth. Work on, Mr. Farmer.
Yes, Eddie Fitzroy say work on, Mr. Farmer. And we are keep the order just as the order. We still a big up the founder of this station, in spirit, Umoja, and the farmer man is the one who support the family. The farmer man is the one who support the community. The farmer man is the man who make the country, up and running, and we have to just know that, you understand, and support that initiative and make sure that our farmers have lands, that is one, and that our farmers have access to proper irrigation, waters, and all of these things, you know what I mean? So we have to stay strong on that vibration. So is there? We are going to get in touch with Mr. Fernandez Smith at this moment. Bless up, Mr. Fernandez Smith. How you doing, King?
Bless up, my brother and my sister. Blessing, man. All the best for the new year. Yes, well, glad to be a part of your program. going to be a part of this paradigm where the community and a whole is an important part of nation building, you know.
Yes.
And I like your preamble there, you know, about land and about water, you know,
All right.
which is where I think we should be going in this discussion today.
All right.
But
Before
anyway, let me say
you
Happy
jump,
New Year to your listeners and all of those who see Fit FM as a vehicle and as to be a part of the conversation for parish and national development, you know, because the people have to be informed, you know.
blessings.
If people are not informed, then the nation dies.
Truthfully so. Before we jump into it, you know, I want you to educate the people who Mr. Fernandez Simit is, you know, and your vision and some of the works that you are doing now, you know what I mean, within the community and where you want to.
Yeah, well,
progress.
as the name suggests, Fernandez, the name is John from Cuba. We are my slave, grandfather and my great grandfather slave for years, and their son came out to Jamaica, and Jamaica is home, and my father got my father and here I am. I think I'm the son of a national hero and a national heroine. People might say, oh, I never heard of any Smith being a national hero or a national heroine, but because of what they did as a parent in molding me in what I am today, you know, without adequate resources, and you know, they tried their best. But I think you sound a bit the connection sounds a bit low.
Sure. I am hearing you clearly. Are you hearing me?
You sound a bit low.
I don't know, but I am hearing you clearly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. So I'm saying I'm the son of a national hero. You're right. You know, and people.
Who is that national hero? Who is that national?
Be that as it may, Hernaldez George Smith and Myra Brown Smith, my mother and my father.
Okay.
So what they did for the community and what they did for the 10 siblings, you know.
Okay.
Who actually, yeah, with a basket and a hoe, you know, that wasn't good. People actually did not see them as being able to have those 10 children going to tertiary level. And I give you a joke. When my brother, he got to work at the bank, you know, and was coming over on the big old country bus. And I look at him and say, man, how you mother your father do it? You could have go to high school and come back and work at bank. Poor people, you know?
Yeah.
So that I call him my hero. But Fernandez Smith went to Vere Technical High School, University of the West Indies, Jamaica School of Agriculture, and entered into politics and mostly worked with the government for 43 years, you know, and made my contribution to national development. And here I am today, you know, doing things for my brothers and my sisters. And my motto for this year is they ain't heavy, they are my brothers and my sisters. So I will do everything that I can do to make the quality of life of my brothers and my sisters better, you know. So basically, that's why in envelope why I am today.
All right, they are my brothers and my sisters. I like that motto.
They ain't heavy.
Go again.
Yeah, they ain't heavy. They are my brothers and my.
Yeah, I am this term. They are my brothers and my sister. The people will understand that very clearly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that is why we are communicating this way. You know what I mean? So when you said, you know, your motto is for they are my brothers and my sister. Give me some of the vision and the dreams that you have in your consciousness to see your brothers and your sister live their best life.
Right. Yes, because no individual is beyond the point of being able to make the best use of their lives put off people and say, no, the people, the youth, they're not going nowhere, the man, they're not going nowhere, that unemployed mother not going in a week here. But in each of us, there is a golden reservoir of opportunities. And all we as a people and we as leaders have to look at that golden reservoir in that and try for that person to make the best use of it to improve their quality. It's all about
True. Each and every one of
life. Whatever you can, whatever assistance you can do, whatever process you can facilitate to improve their quality of life. And politics is one vehicle, community activism is one vehicle, the media is one vehicle which you are doing, and all of those we have to dovetail all of them to make the quality of life for our brothers and sisters better.
True.
Basically, that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, Mr. Fernandez, we had a discussion recently, and you raised some points, 2 points. You spoke about the Usain Bolt statue, which we're going to leave that for the last, because I believe the one with farming and agriculture is most important at this point, because without good food, Usain Bolt couldn't be who he is and couldn't run so fast, So nutrition is very important. So we are going to,
definitely.
We are going to get into that, and we are going to explore that a little. First of all, I want to ask you, what are some of the challenges that you and the farmers in Trelawney facing right now that is inhibiting the growth of the community?
I will answer you. I will answer you. But first, we have to look at. We have to put agriculture in perspective, so that the listeners and can really understand what is really happening in our agricultural sector and what needs to be done, and to have the small man's own vision as to what needs to be done. And if you look at Trelawney as a parish, and it's the fifth largest parish. I think it has about 874 square miles. I think. Yep. Square miles. And most of it are arable lands, are lands that are suitable for agriculture. And what is good about Trelawney and agriculture is that Trelawney has the most available and easy accessible underground water. As outside of, I think, Westmoreland, it has the most arable lands. And that we can attest that by looking at Long Pond and all of those major sugar lands that are in the parish. So one time Trelawney had about 300 sugar estates. So and sugar estates thrive around level lands. So that scenario points to Trelawney as a sleeping giant in agriculture. And apart from water and the land is one of the most fertile in the island. And I think I said before that Trelawney is one of the four parishes, Trelawney, St. Catherine, St. Andrew, and Clarendon, are the only parishes that can grow every the crop that is grown in the lands. And if you look at some parishes, they can only grow cashew. Some parishes they can only grow mango. Some places can only grow limes. Some only can grow avocado. Some can only grow coconut. Trelawney can grow every single every single one of that. And from a political perspective, because politics and agriculture mix, Trelawney, both northern and southern Trelawney, are combined to allow Trelawney to be the only parish that has, unless outside of one occasion, has always voted in the government. And in most cases, their MPs has ministerial portfolio or sub-ministerial portfolio in terms of parliamentary secretary. Right. So Trelawney now should have been far ahead of the other parishes in agricultural production, because you have land, you have water, you have land with quality nutrition, and you have the political power, right, which is going to drive the policy that allows agriculture to strive inside there. But that has not happened, because, as I say, where there's vision, where there's a lack of vision, the people perish. And
you said, give me a minute. You said agriculture and politics mix. More you explain.
Yeah, man, it mix. You want me to expound on that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. Most politics in Jamaica came out of the plantation system, especially in Trelawney. And if you look at the history of all of the political representatives in Trelawney, they were born out of people who were involved in agriculture. A.U. Belinfant, Nebraska Lee, Keith Russell with the Wims property, Desmond Leakey, who's prominent sugarcane farmer, Patrick Harris, the banana farmer from up in the hills of Maroon Town, and right, and where's the live out? The farmer minister, Alan Douglas, was involved in agriculture in southern Trelawney, because he ran there. He ran there as a candidate, right? So when the seeking of political power was to have certain connection with agriculture on a whole, right? And that's why we say, and in most of the agricultural parishes, most of the political representative has direct connection with agriculture. And that's why I say that Trelawney should have, I'm not blaming the politician, but it could be policy. But Trelawney should have moved far ahead in terms of its contribution to GDP, which is only 9%. Trelawney only contributes 5%.
Yeah.
Of the national agricultural GDP.
So
5%.
Mr. Smith, you're a farmer as well, don't it?
Say that again.
You as a farmer.
I'm a technocrat.
You're not a farmer.
Agricultural technocrat, yes.
Agricultural technocrat. Explain that, make we understand.
Yes.
And let the people, because we are communicating with people. When you say you are an agricultural,
yes, I'm not involved in active farming.
So when you said you're an agricultural technocrat, explain to the people what you mean by an agricultural technocrat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a trained agriculturist.
Yes. So what that entails? You're a trained agriculturist. So what are
in terms of livestock, in terms of crops in terms of all the other aspects of agriculture, finance, you know, looking at how crops are grown, where crops are grown, how it is grown, how it is marketed,
Yeah.
and look at what policy there needs to be to drive agricultural production.
Okay. With all that knowledge and all that skills, right? How much are you involved in the farming process? How much of the farmers know about Mr. Fernandez Smith, and how are you engaging them that their produce can?
Yes, I do research. I do research. So I'm in contact. I'm in contact with most farmers right across the island, whether small farmers or medium and large farmers, and speak with them. Look at what problems. Do what you call a SWOT analysis of the operation, their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and what threats they are, you know, to really prevent their agriculture from moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need to do as a country, is to look at who's doing what, you know, bring them on board and say, you're how they're doing this, you know, what are some of your findings? How can we use some of your findings, you know, if it can be authenticated, and it should be authenticated, to help move our farmers forward. And Jamaica Agricultural Society, I was a member. I was a member in Trelawney.
Mm-hmm.
I still do have contact with them. I still speak with the president. I still speak with the VP and other persons at that leadership level, you know. And most of them, and matter of fact, what we are doing now is the steering committee is going to be formed to look at retired agriculturists in the island who are out there, have a reservoir of information and expertise on how to move agricultural forward. So we are trying to get that group together as an autonomous body to assist with the Ministry of Agriculture, and to assist with JS, and to lobby government, you know, to make to move agriculture forward. Because right now, as I see it, agriculture is on the decline. And I say to at a forum, and most farmers didn't know that we are increasing tourist arrival tenfold, and we can't feed them, and we have the ability to feed them.
No, yes,
Trelawney can feed. Trelawney can, if we move agriculture forward in Trelawney can feed every single tourist that lands in the parish, whether cruise ship or within the hotel, within the hotel walls, and everything that is consumed by the tourists in the hotels, Trelawney can produce it.
All right.
And I will further in the program. I'll expound on that.
All right. I'm glad I heard you. And this is what I want to ask you now. 43 years, you know, working with government as an agricultural technocrat, right? And we are looking on a parish that, as you stated, produced everything and have the potential to produce everything to feed, you said, tourists. I don't interested in feeding tourists. That is my personal view. If we people then get the best nutrition and have a good life, then thinking about feeding other people is craziness, you know. So we must always go and feed ourselves and how much, resources that we have. While we feed ourselves, we feed others. While we share our best with, we must always have the best, and we must share the best with others. So the first thing is to make sure that we are feeding ourselves, right, to the fullest, so we can share that good food with others, right?
Yes.
So I am saying 43 years as working with government, as agricultural technocrat, well trained, go to agricultural school in Case and all of these places, lived in Trelawny for most of your life, right? Can you tell me 3 or 2 active farmers group here in Trelawny that you are in touch with and work with to improve agriculture in Trelawny?
No, I'm not actually in direct. I wouldn't say direct in contact with farmers group. I know the J's. I generally might attend one or two meetings. In my research, I go to farms and get farmers together, not being of a particular group, but as farmers, farmers themselves group in a formal setting. Not saying that they belong to Duanville Jays or Refuge Jays or Briarwood Jays, but might be one farmer from Duanville, one farmer from Johnsonville, one farmer from Wakefield, and we say, okay, let us look at the problems they're facing and what are you expecting.
Mr. Fernandez Smith, we are communicating with people right across the world. The station is reaching out. So when you say JAS, can you state what JAS means?
Okay, JAS is the longest farmers organized, the longest serving farmers organization in the country, and in the Caribbean, Jamaica Agricultural Society.
Good.
Right.
Good.
They do. Yes. They have officers at the parish level, and they go about and mix and treat with farmers and to look at the problems that the farmers are facing and how best they can move the farmers' production from low production to high production and productivity, and that's a mandate.
Give me a structure of how the JAS function. You have a president. I remember early on man.
You have a president. You have a vice president.
Who's the president?
You have parish managers across the 14 parishes.
Who is the president of JAS?
And man. Say that again.
Who is the president? Who is the now president?
Lenworth Fulton, a technocrat. He was a former CEO for the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, which is the primary government agency responsible to drive agricultural production. But he's now he's now the president of the Jays, and then you have hold on. Back up a little. Vice president.
Back up a little. You say he is now with RADA.
No man, he's the Jays now. He was with RADA.
Okay.
As a chief executive officer.
As you mentioned,
you have renowned agriculturists Norman Grant. You have Glenn Harris up in the hills of and James. You have my batchmate Denton Alvarang in Clarendon, and you have the satellite. It's the satellite parish groups. Parish groups in the various parishes putting on agriculture show, you know, and each has their own mandate, you know, the Montpelier show, the Hague show, the climax of the Denby Agricultural Show, the Port Maria, not the Port Maria, just outside Grazing show, and then you have the Horticultural Society, which is a subgroup, and the 4-H Club, which was born out of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, which actually is an organization that I think is over 100 years.
No, with
the basic structure for agriculture to move forward are out there, you know. But the bugbear that has dampened it over the years, decades, is policy and a commitment to move it forward.
Who's supposed to be the driver?
I'm going to say something to you.
No, before you go any further,
Go ahead.
we want to have a dialogue, you know. Who's supposed to be the drivers or the instigators? You know, may I use the word instigator, but the drivers behind these policies that you said aren't in place, and that's why agriculture is suffering. Who you believe should be at the forefront?
The remit is with the minister of agriculture, and he's supposed to draw with him the advisors around him, and in turn now offer leadership to the agency that is supposed to drive the policy or carry out the mandate of the policy.
But in a shorter advisor with so many technocrats, the amount of people that you name out, you yourself, what the minister not having dialogue with you, technocrats, with all these technocrats that are here?
No, I to be honest, I've never offered. I know he knows about me. I never offered myself. I never offered myself to really.
But Mr. Fernandez, we want
fit into policy. But I have written, as I said, I have written papers. I've written papers. I've the researcher out there, and I really available. To anybody who wants it, and I know he sees it, but he's here. You know.
No. Mr. Fernandez,
we just believe.
Yeah.
People just believe job one mentality, you know, just talk, you know, and not only this minister, you know, ministers before, but both right across the political divide. And I tell you something, the best agriculture minister that the country has ever seen was the Buster to take off our truck.
Who that?
The one who Buster took off our truck.
What name?
Was a truck sideman and him.
What that person
was the best agriculture minister. All of the banana industry, the planting industry, and the coconut thing and the cocoa, all of them that you see.
Who is that individual that you are referring to?
Replicated across the parishes was done by him.
Who is that individual?
Couldn't read.
Who is that individual?
The great Isaac Barant.
Isaac Barant from St. Thomas?
St. Thomas, yeah. He was a truck side man.
Sure.
Never got reach 6th class.
So and educate us. Hold on, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez, slow down a little.
Yes, sir.
We are communicating with the public, and I want to ask you some questions. You talk about the importance of Mr. Isaac Barant and Mr. Former Prime Minister Bustamante took him off our truck. Can you educate us the reason why Mr. Bustamante took Isaac Barant off the truck?
All right. He was agitating to get more land.
Okay.
For the farmers, because the banana plantation, the Delisas actually own it, and the farmers were the one with the expertise in growing the Delisa never know nothing about banana production. It was the farmers who actually, and he worked on the truck carrying the bananas from down to the Bowden estate. And he agitated, and he actually get the farmers together and had some discussion and said, listen, Yellas can grow banana, Trinityville can grow banana, Bath can grow banana, Duckingfield can grow banana, all these are St. Thomas can grow banana. And Bustamante heard him and said, if you replicate that idea across the island, then we would have boosted agricultural production. And he went on and told Bustamante, say, listen, man, let us see vaccine plants right across the island, right? Rather than you are just Bowden and Lucy and Port Antonio and shipping banana. He said, let us have these satellites vaccine plants across. And Buster sat with him, and take him off of the truck and said, listen, man, I'm going to make you go into politics. And he went to the politics and he won. I think it was 1944 he won.
Yes.
And in 1949 he was named Bustamante went to his team and said, listen, I'm going to make this man the Minister of Agriculture because the man has a vision and I like his vision. And all of the man sang style, all of them say, boy, I'll leave to the say, come mad, but you see by the truck side why your people have after you can't make this man. And Buster called all of them up Irish Town. Every one of them came with their wife and children, and Bustamante have two writing pad on the desk. Because they were training for a revolt, because they said this man can't be Minister of Agriculture. And Bustamante said, all right, good. And everybody was there around the table. Miss Lambert set table and everybody was waiting on the chief to come. And when the chief came, the chief said, okay, gentlemen, how are you all doing? All right. So they thought he came without an agenda. So we say, listen, those who are in favor of Isaac Brandt being named the Minister of Agriculture, right? Just go over there and have some drinks and some food. And those who are not in favor, please write your resignation and leave. And at the end of the day, everybody approved Isaac Brandt to be Minister of Agriculture. And Bustamante proved right. And further to that, in 1980, all of the vaccine plants were closed. Kill agriculture, kill banana production in Jamaica.
Yes.
Closed by the same very persons who say they are technocrats and who are the policy drivers of agricultural production. So I'm saying this to say that Trelawney can move.
Yes, you said that already. Hold on, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez.
The right policy and the people behind driving those policy directives.
All right, Mr.
Because Chile has the lands, they have the water,
yes,
they have fertile lands which are horrible,
yes,
and all of the niche markets in the world, in Europe, in North America.
Yes, with all of
Chile can grow those crops. And what are the niche markets? When I say I mean that it's a captive market. People want it. People want to go and market it. People want it. Once you have it, people will buy it.
Yes. So
Chile can grow ginger. Chile can grow Irish potato. Chile can grow.
We know all the crops. Strawberry, everything.
I tell you about strawberry.
Yes.
I tell you about
all right.
strawberry.
Before you go to strawberry, because as we say, Mr. Fernandez, my vision and my mission on the community buzz is not just to talk about what we can do, but what is it that we are doing or what is it that we are going to do, the preparation, because we hear the talking, as you talk about the jawbone culture, I am
the jawbone mentality.
The jawbone what? The jawbone mentality. All right. So you said to move away from the jawbone mentality, meaning that a whole heap of talking and no action. That is how you put the jawbone mentality. All right. So it's action we are looking open, right? And we have all the resources. We have the intellectual resources. We have the farmers who are ready to farm, right? And that is why I ask you if there is any active farmers group or movement in and around Trelawney, whether south or northern Trelawney, that you can identify and to sit with and to see some of the challenges that they are facing, you know, going forward, and some of the things that are preventing them from really, you know, get things going.
No,
And this is
okay,
what this
the
is.
active,
This
okay,
hold on, let me finish. So this is what I want you to explain to the people now. The farmers have access to land, which is the most important thing in agriculture, right? Land is first. The other thing is irrigation. All these two components, you know, can help the farmers to move forward. And what are some of the things that are preventing from producing all of these crops that Trelawney has the potential to produce?
okay. First and foremost, yeah, they have the lands. Not saying they have the lands, no. Lands are available. Water is available,
Mm-hmm.
and the farmers are available.
Yes.
The human resource in terms of the farmers are available. But the policy are the policies that are required to get those three components moving is not there.
What are we going to do to improve?
And there's a fourth component to
Yes.
add to the land, the human resource, the water, which is capital,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is capital, because
What
I
kind of
spoke with a
capital?
farmer,
What
and
kind of capital?
I spoke with a farmer,
What
and
kind?
I wrote a farm plan.
What kind of capital are you talking about?
Capital is in terms of loans and grants.
Okay, I just want you to be clear,
Yes,
because when you say capital,
I
yeah.
wrote, yeah, man, we call that capital. I wrote a farm plan for a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and to take to a lending institution. They said good program, good marketing strategy, you know, and at the end of the day, they say we can give you a loan, but the interest rate is going to be like about 17%. No farmer in this country can survive a loan with an interest rate of above 5%.
So you're saying the lending institution, banks?
So the man with his bright idea,
Mm-hmm.
good business plan, he said, no, I can't afford it. What's up business that?
So when you say lending institute,
This is where the policy comes in now. This is where the policy comes in now, because governments should say, if you are crops in this market, boost crops, regulate the free market society we're in. You can regulate it, but you have to have some semblance of order. You can say, because the farmer cannot survive about 5%. You can say, yeah, man, we are going to make available to you. We are going to make available to you, the lending institution, a block of funds which you can lend to these farmers. But no government no one do it. By the PNP or JLP, they don't want to do it, because they prefer to spend $6 billion from bushing. I want to cut the roadside and go here, go sleep, and 2 days after the pace grow back. Rather than putting a block of $6 billion to a credit union or to one of the banks and say, okay, 50 or 60 farmers can go. get it at 2. And you can see the exponential reward by doing that. So our greatest setback is policy and the will to implement it. The correct.
All right.
Correct.
All right.
Policy.
You said that so much time, and this is what we are about now. We see the stumbling blocks, in our way, and one of the stumbling blocks what we have to go roll out of the way now, or push out of the way, is the people who are not implementing policies that will enhance the farm community. And as you know, and every one of us here know, recently everybody had talked about food security, right? And it's not that we don't have the lands, and it's not that we are short of water and these things, right? But as you spoke a while ago pertaining to loans from lending institutions, I want you to make it clear to the people out there who are listening, who are those institutions that the people are farmers, say me as a farmer, want to borrow some money for going to farming. Name 2 institutions or 3 institutions that a farmer who out there listening could go to get a loan.
Any commercial bank.
Any commercial bank.
Any commercial bank. Any commercial bank, they can go. But it's easier. Mm-hmm. But it is easier for you to get a consumer loan at a commercial bank now than to get a loan for agricultural purpose. Mm-hmm. And listen this. You see when
Mr. Fernandez, you just a consumer loan. You see, we there and we are communicating, and we really want
consumer, but to buy a car or fridge.
Fridge, all right, good.
Yeah. Yes. But not to buy a tractor.
All right, cool.
Not to buy a tractor.
all right, good.
If you look at this paradigm with government's fiscal policy, monetary policy, these banks, listen, we are going to allow you to keep. We are going to allow you to keep this amount when it's in liquidity, right? You can use that to loans for development purpose within agriculture or manufacturing, right? And the government give them a spread of 7%, I think, 7% spread, right? And this should be just that 7% spread. They should be able to reduce interest rate to the farmers, but they don't do it, and nobody can talk to the bank on it. Nobody can talk to the bank on it. In fact, they raise it. So they are driving away the people, driving away the people. And 79% of the people, of those who are employed in Trelawny are employed in agriculture. You might not know that, 79%. The rest is spread in the hospitality sector in Chinese sweatshop. I call it Chinese sweatshop and low productivity employment. And if 79% of your people are employed in agriculture inside the parish, you as a government or you as an opposition should listen, man, the parish cannot move forward if you are not making the sector that employs 79% of the people productive.
All right, this is the question. Well, Mr. Fernandez.
Can access things that will make it productive.
All right, Mr. Fernandez. you're putting out some numbers, and I am thinking 79% of the people you say employ are farmers, self-employed people.
Yes.
79.
Our farmers are employed.
All right. Easy with me. Easy with me.
Indirectly employed in agriculture. Yes.
Easy with me. Part 2 question. It means.
Say that.
I'm going to ask a part 2 to that question, right? It also means then that those people, right, that's 79%, must have a bank account with some of these major institutions. And if 79% of the people who are employed in this country are farmers, it means to me that these people have a very, very powerful say in the economic function of the country, and therefore supposed to have a strong voice, not depending on government to represent them, but they have themselves as farmers must have a strong voice to know that we are the powerhouse of this country, because our monies are in these institutions. So these institutions should not hold us hostage, or should not, and preventing us from getting loan that we can produce to continue grow the economy and to continue to feed the nation. So what I am looking at is that is a lack of communication, and is also a lack of unity among farmers.
It's not. It's not.
So what is it? That is what I'm here to find out.
It's not communication.
What is
and
it?
It's not a power base in terms of you saying 79%. But it is.
No, I'm going off of what you are saying.
It is the economy. It is the economy of a process. I'm not economy of a trade, economy of a process. And I'll tell you why. When a hotel runs its operation through a bank, right? Runs the operation. It's wage bill. It's marketing bill. It's operation bills. It's income. It's income generation. Through a particular bank. Well, like a farmer with him two pence and him chop and a big hotel chain with the big US dollar. Who you think they're going to sign? Who you think they're going to sign with the farm? That's why that is why they can tell the farmer, said, if you don't want me 70%, go elsewhere. I bet you if one of the hotel. Listen this. I bet you if one of the hotel manager walks into that bank and look at a teller, look at a officer at management level and don't like that person and make a complaint to the head of the bank and say, Mr. IMR really was inefficient and did not deal with me. If them fire you right away.
No, one of the thing about the farmer, nobody can fire them still, as long as them have them land and them thing. So well, let me just assure you. Let us assure you the power that the farmer has and the farmers have, that they are so powerful, you know what I mean, that nobody can fire them. They are the one who are well on. That's why you got to a point, I just want you to understand when we talk about power base. And we must understand our power, because if a man who don't understand his power will always be slaves to others, right? And this is what I'm saying. we have a set of people who know and ask where I ask, because me's a man who go to the market every Saturday, seeing, and I understand, and we see the price of food, and see the prices of food, going through the roof right now. There's nothing in the market where I sell for under $200 a pound right now. Everything is $200 and $250 a pound. Even yam, when you go to the market now and ask how much a pound for yam, see, really you're going to find a man, and that is when marketer get bad and man realize, say, boy, maybe them food not go sell off this evening. Maybe you go late in the evening, a man will sell you a pound of yam for $150. But if you go early morning market, everything is $250 and $300 a pound. There's where it is at now. So we understand the importance and the power of farming, even right here in Falmouth, as somebody who go to the market regular to buy, things because of how me eat, right? So when I'm talking about the power of the farmers, I'm not talking about somebody who somebody can fire. You understand? Once that farmer having piece of land, he is an independent source that can feed himself and know that he can feed in community and people around him, right? Now, for any government, hold on, let me finish. For any government,
interject a little.
No, just give me hold on, just don't interject yet. For any government, whether the PNP and the GLP, right, who can't understand the importance of agriculture to the country, right, and who are not investing in resources for the development of the farming community, then those people are not working in the interest of the country, because a country that cannot feed itself, cannot sustain for too long. Cannot survive for too long. So when you shift the focus, because we want to keep the focus on the farming, and we have a little time to go to UCN board. We want to keep, because we don't even want the hotel thing is another thing. Mr. My good friend, Mr. Patrick Beckford wrote a nice article what they sent to me, which is something we need to explore and talk about. The treatment of people in the hotels and them things. But right now we are talking about agriculture. And listening to you and listening to and observing what is happening in Jamaica, especially when you go back with the history of Isaac Barant. I am somebody who born and grew up in St. Thomas, and I understand the power of the small farmers when we were there, and I knew and have knowledge of some of the experience that happened in especially Eastern St. Thomas, right? How government dispossessed the people of land, and find a way, not just locally, but what is happening to us here, we must not just look at it as a local thing. We must also understand the impact of the geopolitics, meaning the political gods overseas who are dictating to the government here what to do. Because we signed on to some treaties, and that is one of the things that is affecting our farming communities. And we not even reached the point if we talk about it. Our government signed on to some treaties with the World Trade Organization and NAFTA. See? And these treaties were they call fair trade. There is no fair trade with big superpower country like America and Canada and other country who can dump their produce here very, very cheap. You understand? Remember what took place in the 90s, when carrot and onion and all of these things were just coming into the country, the farmers who used to plant them red peas and all of these things, all of a sudden we see some peas that come here, them take all 3 days to cook. You understand? So we understand these things. We see what is happening to the people who plant onion down at St. Elizabeth all kind of worms and things come and destroy. So the next thing we want to talk about is a thing what we call name seed security and seed banks. You understand? I want you to touch a little upon that because you see, one of the things, we could have talked about policy a little more. You see, if the farmers who are the people, let me say something to you before we go any further. You see, the two political parties were forming in Jamaica, the PNP and the GLP. Those two political parties formed out of the workers' action, especially the farming community, because the farmers were the driving force behind the protests, the strikes for more land, for better wages, because that's where it come from, After the 1838 abolishment of what you call so-called chattel slavery, one of the things that was affecting us as African people is the landlessness, right? So people start to push for land. And when people start to get land and start to take care of themselves and start to plant, see, there is where the government now, I talk about the crown government, not the local government, because we're still under colonial powers and we're still under colonial powers. Because when you talk about crown land, and when you hear you talk about crown land, me I say about wait. Or we still there only as free people and hear people that talk about crown land. Who control these crown land? What crown land really means, When you say crown land to me the other day, explain to the people when you say crown land, what that really mean. Me know, but me and you talk, and I want you to explain to the people.
Yeah. No, man, it's we have lands and it's an archaic terminology. Right? It's an archaic terminology. Lands that are owned by the government. But
by which government?
Prior to independence.
Yeah.
Prior to the independence, we were governed by governors, right? And governors was the de facto owner of the lands that are owned by the state. And hence because we were a monarchy, right? Hence the term crown was coined to call it crown land. But let's this thing slipped out. If you said the political movements were born out of activism and farmers, and I agree with you. But if you look at the makeup of our parliament, the 63 of them, how much of them, of the 63 of them across the political divide, came out of are there because of activism at the community level or at the parish level, or come out of the workers' movement?
Now, when I sit down now, there's so much money they have here in one contract.
All right. So you see where the country is. You see where the country is going, and that's why we have a serious balance of payment, right? A serious balance of payment problem, which is going to wreak havoc for 2023-2024, for 2023-2024, because if you are exporting, if you are importing, if you are importing 1.5 billion worth of agricultural, US worth of agricultural, worth of food, and you are only, as a country, you are only exporting 487 million. When you have a niche market for yam, ginger, turmeric, cocoa, pimento, and all of those stuff we used to do before, and we cannot do it again with more technology, with more technocrats like myself, with more available, with lands, with capacity to harness groundwater and to make and to establish efficient irrigation system. All of that is available. And we're not producing nothing, we can't feed ourselves. And most countries, you see what happened in the Ukraine war? You see what happened with the energy crisis? You see what happened in COVID, right? When only the farmer, only the liquor farmer could buy a beer, the hotel worker couldn't buy a beer, the manufacturing sector couldn't buy a beer, because what? They were laid off, and the farmers is still out there producing. And they are not making life any easier. They're not facilitating no process for them. All the fight we're fighting. And you're saying something about power. Say that the 79% who are employed in agriculture, but the farmers are not, have the power to stand up to the bank. No, power without it doesn't work. If I have the power, I'm not getting redressed by exhibiting my power. It's not going to help me. So, Brother Aymara, unless certain things that affect the people look at it and say it should have political consequences. Only when politicians, PNP and JLP, see things that people are quarreling about and are craving for and want to see move forward, and people say, yes, this should have political consequences. They would act. If what they are doing threatens their political viability, then I bet you it works.
But this is why I went back, a little to the historical evidence, of why the two political parties were formed, right? It was out of workers' activism, out of the workers' movement. And the most active workers were the people who were demanding lands, because after the abolition of chattel slavery, the enslavers received compensation for their properties, and the enslaved were left without lands to fully liberate themselves. We just see the Maroons celebrated, 285 years of freedom. And one of the things why the Maroons survived was the land that they have to take care of them community, to farm, plant whatever food them want plant, to rear animal, and to be an independent state. So, and I, as somebody who grew up in a Maroon community, understand that process. Now I am saying, we are in Jamaica today, and we just talk about government, and you mentioned something about crown. And we have to speak clearly to the people what crown mean, In Jamaica, the parliament is still under the crown. And I know, say, you know that. It is still under the crown. And even in Jamaica, when people talk, say, we are landowners. There's no landowners in Jamaica. The crown still own all lands here. That's why we still pay taxes. We are just, the people who claim that they own land of Jamaica, they are just landholders. And if you look on them document, that you're going to see too. Landholders. You don't own anything. The crown own the government.
You own the land. You own the land, but
you're holders. That's why, hold on. You're holders. You're what you're, and you're going to make you go into history. You're landholders. That's why from everlasting to everlasting, those of us here who claim that we are landowners have to pay taxes. And I'm going to show you the difference between the people in America and the people them call the Maroons. The Maroons no pay tax. They are landowners because them no pay tax. So there's a big difference there. So if you need to understand the difference between owners, when you own something, nobody can demand of you to pay taxes. So, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yeah? You totally
disagree with you.
Why? Explain to the people.
And I tell you why.
Yeah.
I tell you why. You have 3 classes of land ownership in Jamaica, and the Maroons enclave, the Maroon enclaves.
Yeah.
They are. And you heard what the Prime Minister says, that there's no
sovereign state,
sub-government, there's no sovereign yet. There's no sovereign sub-sovereignty within a sovereign, and that's showing word of the money. Maroon say, yes, you're in an enclave, but those lands are owned by us. But be that as me, I'm saying that you have 3 types of land ownership in Jamaica. You have freehold, which is you have a title, or you have a leasehold.
So you agree with that?
The freehold. You cannot. A person who has a freehold, you cannot pass it on to your generations. You know, generational thing.
Mr. Fernandez. Hear this what I'm saying. Hear this what I'm saying to you.
Yeah. Because once you own it, you own it at freehold. It's your land.
But this is what I'm saying to you.
The government has the right. The government has the right.
Who is the government?
To purchase that land from you.
Who is the government? As we call it, immediate right to purchase that land from you if that land is required for national development. I understand. I understand.
Secondary, but you have to be compensated. So if the government had owned it, then they would just come and say, listen, we are not development and don't pay nothing. You have to be compensated. That means it's your money. Anyway, that's for we don't want topic.
What I know. Yeah, we're going to talk about what this is what we want you to understand, and we want Jamaica to understand, not just you.
Yes.
Because we can't skip around these things. Because too long we are divert from these things and now look on the facts that is right in front of our eyes, right? When you talk about crown land in Jamaica, see, we're talking about the land that is owned and controlled by the monarch, not the state. Which state are you talking about when you say the state?
Jamaica.
No,
man, the queen.
It's not the queen anymore because the queen dead. The king now.
Since independence, since independence, all of that aspect of it being owned by the monarchy, has been thrown to the window. Because,
not since Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez.
We are only answerable. We are only answerable to the monarchy, and ceremonial occasion. It's just a ceremonial head because we are a member of the Commonwealth.
Who is the head of the Commonwealth? Who is the head of the Commonwealth?
If we had gone republic,
yes. We are not. We are not. We are.
If we have gone.
We are not. We are not.
We still would be using the term crown land. How many people don't use the word crown land again?
No. So if we go, hold on, Mr. Fernandez, back up, man. Like a reason. If we go republic, we'd have to change those terms because that we are now a republic. We are not under the jurisdiction of the colonial masters anymore. We are not under the jurisdiction of the crown. So these lands supposed to be the Jamaican people land. And this is what we are talking about. The repairing of...
And it still is. And it
is not.
No, it is not. The crown, the queen of the king of England, the king of England are Britain. Don't have one iota of.
You need to go back and study your history.
What trying to find the word.
Who the Governor General represent? Who the Governor, Mr. Fernandez? Mr. Fernandez.
Ownership. That has nothing to do with it.
Fernandez, you in politics 43 years, right?
Yes.
And
no, politics are 13 years in the politics.
All right. You're in government you're in government for 43 years, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. Who the Governor General represent Jamaica? It's not ceremonial. It's not ceremonial. It's not. It is not. Don't misinform our young and insult the mind of our young people.
Yeah, but you represent.
It is not ceremonial.
You represent the king. It some protocol. It speaks protocol can tell you that.
Yes.
Anyway,
all right. Make we move from
king or queen or monarchy. It doesn't be productive or can get down at 2%, right? It doesn't.
And you see and there is where some of the stumbling blocks lies. You know, it's because the people who are in control, right? The people who are in control are still oppressing the people who are still the main bedrock and sustainer of this country. We, the ordinary people who work the hardest, the farmers, right? Here in Trelawny, when you go up in the hills, without those farmers, you go up in a southern Trelawny and you see the operation of these people, how they are coming together and planting yams and them yam and them all kind of staple produce, right? For feed the nation, right? Them don't even have the proper road. I was looking at some people coming out of Aglis Gap in St. Thomas recently and see the condition of the road where these people have to travel on. Right? These people who come into Coronation Market and travel from miles to feed the people in the inner city. And you are going to tell these people don't have power. Make them not come to Coronation Market for 2 weeks and see if some people are dead at ground for hungry. Right? Because these are the realities. Yeah.
I tell you something. When the farmers do that, the same politicians across the border side, you go and see how much box truck are coming from the wharf with fire goods, and it is happening also. It is happening now also, and that is why they're not paying no attention to agriculture. And
so you realize now, Mr.
To make loans available to them.
You realize
the same box truck. You see, what I say, Brother Amari, the same box trucks, the dozens of box truck you see on the highway going there and there. A politician truck can one and can cabbage to the hotel.
So why make we not expose them? Why make we not expose them? No, it's 2020. It's not a secret. No, if we we never know that. It's a secret to me because we never know.
Everybody knows who are carrying chicken back, who are carrying red peas, who are carrying onion, and it happens right across the political divide because PNP out of power, you see after me time to eat the food.
All right, so
DP go out of power, them say unless we the people come and say, listen man, it can't be breakfast as usual.
No, this is what I talk about, Mr. Fernandez. If we know that politicians who supposed to, and that is why I say, why you ask them question there? You're asking the question that these people supposed to be the policy drivers when they are the one who are there and the minimums, bringing in foreign goods, bringing in chicken back, it means that them a find a way to cut out the man who raise him chicken. Yeah? If them are bringing in pork chops,
They don't business.
no, but me assure you, say, we the people must organize and get rid of these people who are not working in our interest, whether them name PMP or GLP. And that is why I said we are not communicating effectively. We are not if we did organize and we were communicating, then this thing wouldn't appear long for so long that we're still there at talk about. This is one of the things, pertaining to the community boss. You see, as long as I am here as the host, as long as I am here, when me depend is solution. Me don't really want to come talk about the same thing over and over. If we now go find some way to take the foot of these people out of our necks. You know what I mean? And that me depend, how we are going to stop these people from being oppressive to us and parading like they are operating in the interest of our people while they are there, to oppress and to undermine the growth of our people. And if you, Mr. Fernandez, I'm putting it to you. I'm putting it to you. Hold on. I'm putting it to you. I'm putting it to you as somebody who, because you said it a while ago, have knowledge of these things. We need to speak up. We need to talk. Who are the people who are undermining the growth and the development of the farmers here in Jamaica? We need, because it means that the agricultural minister must have knowledge of these things. And therefore, him should not be the minister of agriculture if him knows it. People are importing, are getting cuts, because make we put it that way, from foreign goods, from foreign farmers, because it must be foreign farmers who are dumping their not so good food here on us that is causing cancer and all sort of illness, while we have a farmer there with authentic food and organic food that we can eat, and we have to import and eat bad food that them don't even want, because some of the things that them dump in Jamaica, right, is rejects in the country that they are coming from. So if we want to lift the consciousness of our people, if we want our people to live them best lives, we have to do better. We must speak up, and we can't just come here and just talk.
Just recently, you heard about the broke rice, the broken rice issue? Have you heard about the broken rice issue?
Broken rice? No. Explain it to me.
Well, a shipment of rice came in. Mm-hmm. A shipment of rice came in. And when they did the quality control and the rice, they find that, because the rice in transit with the grains can be broken.
Yeah.
So they give you a threshold.
Mm-hmm.
They give you what you call it, a broken rice threshold. So it must be no more than about 10%.
Yes.
So when the rice come about 20%, and the same day the regulatory agency raised the red flag. And now after that, the rice was cleared.
Cleared?
Because the rice was, and this is no conspiracy theory.
Cleared and what? Distributed in the country?
The rice, yeah man, distributed, released to the importer, and the importer happened to be a company that was owned by a minister. That was owned by a minister. Although the minister recused himself, he became a minister for the company. So you see, we're not serious as a country. And as we said before, whatever action is taken, if it doesn't have political consequences, they're not going to fix it. So my take on agriculture is that Trelawny can move.
All right.
Sri
good.
Lanka can move. The member of parliament has to sit down with RADA, right? With the technocrats, the available technocrat that RADA has, and say, listen, this is the vision. Because she has to lead.
Which one are the members? Which one are, because we have two members of parliament.
She are the lead, the two ministers, the two member of parliament.
Okay.
And plus the two caretakers. The four of them have to come and sit down and say, listen, right? The mayor and the councillors, the political directorate have to come and sit down and say, listen, the technocrat says this. How can we dovetail all of those ideas? And I, as the parish leader, the political leader, who is going back to parliament and say to my government and say to my party, listen, Sri Lanka, the farmers need 2,000 acres of land, right? They want low interest rate, right? They want technical support, right? They want technical support, and this is how we are going to deal with it. And they come back and meet with the farmers and say, "You say good."
No.
Duanville, Sherwood, Clarkstown, Jacksontown can grow this. South Sri Lanka can grow. Up in the hills of South Sri Lanka can grow that. Wakefield can grow that. Refuge, Duncan, Rayab, Braco. Braco was one of the best laid out irrigation scheme in Jamaica. Is not growing nothing to this day.
All right, Mr. We want to
laid out irrigation system.
Before we end this part, I am going to say this to you. The people, the just about people who are in government, this is not their interest. This is the interest of the farmers. The farmers must come together, organize themselves with somebody like you who is a technocrat. Get active, meet, roll up on a sleeves, man, roll up on a pants foot, and put on a boat, and meet and organize. Put pressure upon the politician them. You understand? That is how it is going to work. You can't ask them if they have an interest in something where they don't have no interest in. It's the farmers who know what them want must organize themselves and step out, and you as a technocrat. But if you're going to sit down for the people then when have no interest in this thing for come and meet with them, not going to have to organize themselves and do something. Whether you know what I mean? So I could go to the Usain Bolt. I could go to the Usain Bolt thing.
Well, before you move,
because we don't have much time,
in 2008, it's going, that one is going to be long. In 2008, I wrote a comprehensive paper and give it to the Prime Minister, Mr. Golden. The visionary development for Trelawney through agriculture, commerce, and it didn't include tourism. And Mr. Golden met with some leaders in our Western Jamaica. I said, "This is a very good paper. Very good paper, the man." You heard the man them say at the meeting, so we want to me or we want to MP. And the message of the man was sure that the boss would, and the message, the man was sure the message, I said that they look at the message and say, it is, and up to this day, I was at Mr. Gold's birthday. We are sitting up here, we are drink a white rum, because we drink a white now. He said, Mr. G, you remember the paper, right? He said, very impressive, very impressive. So what happened to it? Him say, you know, so we still have it in my archive. You still have a copy? You still have a copy of that paper? Yeah, man, me have it. My say, the phone is smarter than we, you know, so it must be there. All right. No phone is smarter than me. Now use that. Yeah, anyway, no phone is smarter than me. No phone is smarter than me. Yeah, me know. So why they call it smartphone? No, because we call it so. So you call son, it's smarter than you. Yeah, so no.
Make we talk about the
Right.
Usain Bolt stat. You know, you point out something to me the other day about it. You know, so what are your vision? You know, pertaining to the
Yeah.
whole thing.
And I'm glad I raised the point that when I wrote the paper in 2008 about a holistic development for Trelawney,
Mm-hmm.
and I signed most of the development plan for the port and the Windmoras, which it forms part of the port itself. I asked that a trail be developed that leads to the old capital, which is Martha Brae. And there, you know, there could be a bike trail, a horse trail, a buggy trail, and that was part of the plan that I wrote and I sent to the Prime Minister then. And when I heard the whole about Usain Bolt's statue in Water Square, I quickly jumped back to that paper I wrote, and I said, you know, say this how it could be dovetailed into that jogging, and I walk. They are trying now to get rid of the congestion in Water Square,
Mm-hmm.
and apart from the statue of Bolt, which I don't think that statue alone should be there if they are going to put it in Water Square. And I explain it further. It's going to further congest. Trelawney cannot take any more pedestrian traffic. Should Falmouth, right? Because the place is a total chaos already, right? It cannot take any more pedestrian. So I said that trail could lead to a jogging track where athletes can jog and train and end up into a park, what they would call a park that I would call a park of fame, with all of the major the mega contributors to national and Trelawney development. Usain Bolt, Veronica Campbell. So it's not going to be a statue or some landmark for Usain Bolt, but Usain Bolt, Veronica Campbell, you know, Bishop D'Souza, the first Jamaican to be anointed, the suffragan bishop of Jamaica and the West and the Caribbean. You have Hugh Shearer. You have the common man in Jason White. You have those that have contributed to cricket, Gilchrist and Louis Winter. All of these, just you have to set a bar, you know. All right, big people will say, "Oh, that person is not there." So within that trail, it leads now to that park of fame, properly landscaped with amphitheater, and people like you can go there and meet people and give 20-minute lecture on what you are talking and read a year, right?
So you identify where would be that park of fame?
Because for safety, because it has to conform to road safety, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you could come along that road. You start the trail right at the eastern end of just below Juicy Beef there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's an exit road that leads you back You know, you're on that road. Yeah, man, there's an exit road, man, leads you back to market, the bottom of Market Street, or to the market. So it could run parallel, right? You wouldn't put anybody at risk. You run parallel along that road, and then it leads now to the left of the road to Market Street, and comes above that slip road that takes you to the highway. And that land, that government land, whether it's a crown land, that land, I think Patrick Harris has a shop at Jerk Center there. But it would be to the east, to the west of that. Because there are available lands there, which is owned by the government. And you end up right inside in that park of fame with the Usain Bolt statue. And here the holistic approach to it. It is close to the school, which is William. It is close to the Hague Primary. And it would serve as an inspiration to the people. People who want to meditate can go inside there and say, yes, I want to be like these people. And you keep it sacred. Right? It can be done. Tourist enhancement fund have enough funds can do that. Don't say them they're not gonna find the money. They can find money to do it. This money is there.
Yeah. It's a great idea. However, it needs to be executed.
But I am willing because I was a chairman for 10 years at the Civic and Community Relations Committee, and most of the civic legacy that I there was part of my legacy, and I'm willing to do a presentation to the council if anybody of them are listening, right, and do a presentation to the council on this proposal. It is a win-win, and it's going to redevelop Martha Brae as the old capital, and also the nearby rafting is done there. So it dovetails into that, and you have the historic water wheel which can be revived and all of that. So where there's no vision, the people will perish. And as I said before, I'm at the darling of my career. I don't know how much further I can go, but as I said before, the interview, there are my brothers and my sisters. Whatever I can do to make quality of life better for the people, that's what I will do. And right across the political divide,
Yeah,
the government is here and I want to top of no, I don't have a problem. I'm to be honest, I'm very close to the opposition. I'm very close to them, and they're looking at some of my papers, and let's see what happens in 2023.
All right.
Although it does from data, and it does.
Mr. Fernandez.
Mr.
Fernandez.
Yes, sir.
You're a real politician still, you're a real politician, Listen, you're a real politician, because if
I retired, man. I retired.
No, man, it's still in your blood, man. It's still
retired undefeated.
It's still in your blood, man. Let me share something. Hold on, me share something. Hold on, man. Hold on, see that me tell you.
I render justice here. If the opposition screws up and the Labour screws up and whatever, I'm on the side of
Here you go again. Politicians don't really give people a chance to talk, them hardest. But let me tell you something. Hold on. There's somebody listening, she's in the state. She said, if you have a seat at the table, you have to state your case and make your demands, right? And she's referring to somebody like you who is a agricultural technocrat, past politician, and you've written some very important papers. You pass them on to former prime minister. You are in contact with them, so you're no neophyte in this. You are somebody who are well known within the political circle. So you have a voice, and a big voice too, right? So man. Don't play it. You just tell me, say, hold on, man. Hold on, no, Mr. Fernandez. Hold on, no. You just said that you had a rum with the former prime minister, and you were sitting at you was at his birthday party. So you're no ordinary political activist around here, right? You said you leave politics undefeated. So don't underplay your power in this country, right? We are looking forward to have more discussion with you, because of your knowledge, as an elder, you know what I mean? And I am somebody who is going to, try to get things out of you, pertaining to some things that is happening.
As I said before, I want to share the video light with you one day, but I am hoping.
Man, if you come inside,
I should be able to share the video light.
Take some time, man. Take some time. Next time, me no want to talk to you upon the phone. Consider inside of me, so.
See? Yeah, man. We sit down side and talk, one.
Yeah.
Because at 2022, we have to do what we have to do.
Yes, and what I want you to do, the next time we talk, walk with some of the papers and make we peruse them and look on some of the things, that
beautiful
can work
good.
in the best interest of our country and our people. You understand? So we give you a time, we give you more time that you can, talk about these things and not just to talk about them, but to the plans that you and the ideas that you have, and step by step how you would like to see them execute and
yes,
come
wonderful,
about.
Wonderful, my brother and my sister. Blessings. It was a pleasure. And
dismiss me, so I mean around the program, I mean supposed to tell you thank you, you are already up and tell me that. You sound more like a politician now. I wish one of the politicians did say I shall return.
No, but so you're saying that Jesus is a politician because as you coined the term, I shall return.
Well, PJ Patterson did say so too, don't it? And he did return.
Yeah. Good. It was a wonderful discussion, my brother and my sister. And and I said before the interview, they are my brothers and my sisters. Anything to help and keep the flag flying high, because the media is going to be the driving force behind changes, and changes for the better. And
not all media.
Was formed out of that idea, and it is here to stay, and it can only expand and reach out to the people, because once you are on the side of the people and you speak on behalf of the people and let the people know, because information it is age of information, and through the media,
Yes.
Although some of them
it's not all media.
Hold
on. I don't want to mix up Fit FM with all media houses. Fit FM is the voice of the people. Not all of them is the voice of the people. The things that you can come here, so come talk, some of the media hosts, them not really want you to come. They try censor you and tell you to say,
and just another icon we want to put in that fame, in that park of fame, is Dr. Don Marshman, who has really transformed and allowed Fit FM to come out of his own idea, because he has revolutionized the media landscape, and make notice and said, people here, man, come, they can have their own shared conversation, and through the media.
Dr. Don is alive.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Would I like you invite Dr. Don, make we have a talk with him too, to see some of his vision, because we want the brilliant minds them in the community to come to the fore.
And we're going to big him up and let him know that it is part of the equation, which you want to for the park of fame.
And what I want to say to you, what I want to say to you before you run, you can, link the PM who have something to contribute to the development
You can catch up to this.
Yeah. And make with just me about you have my number, see? And
Yeah, I have all numbers.
yeah, man. And make we sit down and talk and not but to put
Good.
things in
Wonderful
action.
discussion, man. Beautiful.
Love and light.
Beautiful. Good.
Happy to have you here. We still have a couple more minutes so we can play some music and chit chat.
The same thing goes on for persons who have something to say.
Yes. Before we continue the Eddie Fitzroy, we're saying to the people, you see, Fit FM is here, the community buzz is here. If you have something to say, man, just shout out, and don't just keep it to yourself, because if you keep it to yourself, the rest of the community now going to know what going on. And if it's something that can benefit the community, it is best that we share it, and see how we can sit down and work on it. This is 2023, and what we want to do is to, have a more one-on-one dialogue, face-to-face dialogue, and a more dialogical discourse, more than something more dictatorial with people that tell you what you must do or what. Make us sit down and talk as a community, as family, and to see how we can improve the condition that we're not really to approve of. We need to get rid of some of the old ways that aren't working for us and look forward to greater things, And we can't just continue to talk about New Year and New Year resolution while we're not changing how we are thinking. And, we must get to the inner self. The inner self. Yes, this has been the community buzz with Aymara, the musical revolutionary, the first for 2023. We have more interesting guests coming in the future. Let's confirm that next week and see, what will come of that. I believe Anchorage with Simone Maddox will be here maybe for an hour or so. We have further discussion on that, but we're looking forward to that too, a new kind of justice, which is very important to the growth and the development of our people here in Jamaica, because justice have been eluded a lot of us for years, and we want to find justice in access to lands, to all the basic amenities, So it's the community buzz. Aymara, the poetic musical revolutionary, saying one love. Mr. Farmer Man, Eddie Fitzroy. Listen to this.
Boy, you live in the country. You work so hard to make all easy life. Feed up and look so strong to make all easy life. Sit in a earth.